Hi, I'm David. Welcome to another episode of Changing Time. Today's guest is Tom Cobden, the Director of Sales of the Hilton. Please enjoy and stay safe. Hi Tom, how's everything going?
Okay, David, how are you?
I'm really well. We're staying sane.
Good. It's same. Well, that's good.
Sane. So first of all, tell us what is your profession? Where do you work?
I'm the Director of Sales at the Hilton Hotel in Liverpool City Centre. I've been there for about 3.5 years as Director of Sales. I also chair the Sales and Revenue function of the Liverpool Hospitality Association, which is a voluntary role that I'm involved in.
So obviously with the strange times of the pandemic and lockdown, it's affected the hospitality industry a lot. So how has it affected the Hilton and stuff?
Um, well, we're closed at the moment, so it's profound in terms of how we operate. I mean, the place is closed. It opened over 10.5 years ago, and it's never closed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's devastating.
So is everyone a bit uncertain on when everything goes back to normal? Do you know of how the government are going to allow you to open and be kind of the new normal?
Um, we don't. I mean, we're all pretty optimistic about reopening. When that is, we just don't know. We know that there'll be certain measures in place for all hotels and all hospitality venues, and that will be encouraged to adopt. And to be honest with you, reading some of the initial guidelines, there's no reason why we can't implement all of those. It just means a different way of working. At the Hilton, we're relatively lucky in terms of it's quite an open type of building. It's quite a spacious place, so the social distancing piece shouldn't be too much of a challenge for us. You're not going to get that sort of everywhere. So I think different hotels are working slightly different ways. But in terms of us, I mean, we're optimistic about delivering a new way of working, whether it be short term, long term, or permanent. We just don't know what it's going to look like. But
Those far, obviously, we've got Go events and the business is all about the events. How has the event side been affected? Obviously, with a few of our events, they've had to be postponed with yourselves. So,
yeah.
was that overall, and how have you managed that for the future?
In terms of, I mean, we're an events-driven hotel. A lot of our business is driven through either conference meetings, banqueting, charity events, that sort of thing. And for certainly the short to medium term, everything is out of the diary. Places, these events are not happening 100%. Well, so they're not happening. As with yours, I mean, a lot of the events are rescheduled, or they're looking for dates. So as we move through this period, we're sort of trying to shift a lot of the business to suit the client, and obviously trying to get a date where we know that's relative, or we think that's relatively safe that it will happen, because we don't want to have to reschedule again, which that may be the case. We just don't know. So again, it's still very uncertain in terms of what the events piece is going to look like, because as you know yourself, with some of the events you've done with us, our Grey Suite can hold 350 for banqueting. Well, that's not social distancing by any means. That's pretty tight. So what that looks like, your guess is as good as mine at the moment. I mean, I had a conversation with my general manager last week, and we were sort of having a joke, saying a 6-foot round table that could take 10 at a push 12 could be a 3 or a 4 at a push, which should just be ridiculous. But it could happen. You just don't know.
It's going to be very limiting to no one knows what's going to happen, really. So with everything's gone to a standstill, so you're now at home.
Yeah.
believe congratulations to in order on the new baby and stuff. So
Yeah, thank you.
how is family life, and how has it changed, obviously, your lifestyle?
I mean, I went into when everybody went on furlough from our place, which was about 5 weeks ago, or when everyone was kind of sent home. I worked from home for a week, which was interesting because obviously we had a house full, but to be honest, there was very little I could do anyway.
Yeah.
And then I went on paternity leave for 2 weeks because my partner and I had a son. So following the paternity, I then went into furlough, which has now been about 2 or 3 weeks, whatever it is. So it's been great to be at home with obviously young family. The weather's been with us. We live in an area where the kids can play out the front and the back and what have you. So we're blessed in that way, and it's been amazing. Strangely to be on a lockdown, if you will. I mean, without the sort of pressure of going, we've got to go to this park or that, attraction or whatever else. We can't do that. We can go for a short walk, but it's been great to spend time with the family and kind of reconnect. So I've got twin girls as well, as you know, and just to kind of get to know them a bit in a different way, and them to get to know me. During the week I see them for a very short period in the morning, and sometimes not even at all in the evening if I'm home late. So it's kind of weekends where obviously I'm trying to get a bit of rest and recuperation myself for the Monday. But obviously there's a lot of downtime at the moment, so it's been amazing in that respect.
Yeah. How has all the other staff taken to it then? Have you been keeping tabs on them and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, we've got sort of various WhatsApp groups and what have you with the guys at work. So there's been some good banter going back and forth with certainly the sales and events guys, and just kind of sharing experiences. And I think everybody's having a similar sort of experience, just having, just trying to make the best of it. I mean, we can't go anywhere, so do the best you can. But I think it's just those sort of people with the families are just experiencing a completely different type of family life than maybe they've ever experienced before. Certainly I am. It's great. But everybody seems to be, again, just optimistic about when we can come back. I think the conversation we've been having just more recently around people really kind of want to come back and get on with it. I don't necessarily think there's a nervousness. I think it's more of a kind of, let's get back in and get back up. Do you know what I mean? And see what that looks like.
So are you concerned on a hotel perspective of people, the general public's perspective and attitude towards social distancing and what's been going on and the impact on the hotel and the event side?
Definitely. It'd be interesting to get some customer views on what people are going to be doing, and in some respects we already have. There are customers that, believe it or not, still inquiring for either later in the year or into 2021.
Yeah.
So they're obviously holding a large degree of optimism in terms of these events are going to go ahead, which is brilliant. And I think generally speaking, it will get back to normal, but it's just how long that will take and what it looks like. There's things that I've seen on LinkedIn with rooms that can do 300 set up for 40 with these huge distance between delegates. I'm not necessarily sure that will be the case, but it could be. So we just need to kind of, when a lot more people start getting back, asking what the expectations are, because certainly our offering will change without a shadow of a doubt. In terms of our meeting spaces, we have minimum and maximum numbers, so that will change without a doubt.
So as far as opening on a realistic scale, do you think your place of work would be like one of the last to be able to open on a normal function?
What do you mean my place? Is in hotels or
Like coming out of lockdown and stuff, do you think hotels and the industry will be the last to be able to be a fully working again?
Potentially. I mean, I think because of the high level of fixed costs that a hotel has to run, it would be the right time for each individual hotel. I mean, if we believe that when we open the doors, we can have an influx of customers to run effectively without making losses, then we will open at that point. What that looks like at the moment, we don't know. I think we at the Hilton, we're in a good position in terms of, I think that when we do announce an opening, we will start getting at least certainly bedroom bookings and start to fill bedrooms. The meeting space, not so much. I think that will be either later in the year or into 2021. Certainly the restaurant and bar will be, I would have thought, probably closed as we reopen the hotel. And the executive lounge will probably be closed potentially. And that will again reopen as and when we're kind of guided, I suppose, by government. I mean, there's certain things we can do. For instance, when people are expecting breakfast in the morning, we can sort of package that and either room deliver it or people can pick it up. But in terms of, a full restaurant and busy breakfast service, that just will not happen when we first open. So I think a slow phased opening will be what will happen with most people. But when that will be, I don't think all hotels will open at the same time. I think depending on how confident a hotel is to get occupancy levels up will be the deciding factor on when they open.
Yeah.
But in terms of when we're opening, we don't. The honest answer is we don't know yet. Hopefully soon. Although there are some hotels open.
All right.
Yeah, because you've got various key workers and NHS staff staying in hotels. So there are a couple of hotels in Liverpool that are facilitating those people. So that's interesting. I don't think they're necessarily taking leisure stays because obviously people have got to stay at home, but those key workers are still in some hotels.
So as far as yourself, have you learned anything? Have you learned anything about yourself, about what you want to be, what you want to do in the future, and how you're going to be when you go back to work and stuff?
I think from a works perspective, I'll learn a lot when I go back, a hell of a lot. My initial thought was that if I was or wasn't furloughed, I'd spend a lot of time planning and working out what I'm going to do when I go back, so that I've got best foot forward and be, number one. But those plans change and my thought process changes so much.
Yeah.
It's just unreal. My thought process 4 weeks ago is different to now. So I think I'll learn a lot when I go back. When I'm back on the ground, back speaking to people, understanding, the logistics of how we're going to work, we'll learn a lot. In terms of personally, where do I start? I mean, for me, my whole life has changed the last 5 years anyway. I mean, 3.5 years ago, I had no kids, and now I've got 3. So yeah, it's been a big learning curve for me anyway, but certainly just spending time with my family has been absolutely amazing, proper, lots of time, and getting to really understand the kids and more has been brilliant, And, me and Rachel, we don't spend a great deal of time together we're both busy people. So just to kind of spend more time with her and it's been brilliant. So more family time together, I think, and just enjoying those moments and appreciating those moments. I think I'll really miss that when obviously we go back. Yeah. It'll be a tough one, that will. I think it will be for a lot of people.
Well, no. What we'll do is we'll put all the links on the Hilton and social media stuff on YouTube and stuff so everyone can find you, keep up to date on when you're going to be opening your office.
Yeah. I mean, what we're going to be doing over the next, we've got some really good content which we're going to be rolling out on social media from the hopefully from next week, and it's little snippets of the hotel. So just reminding people about the facilities, what our bedrooms are like, what our different bedroom categories are like, what our meeting rooms are like, our bar, restaurant. So there'll be some really good stuff going out that we'll put on all social media platforms. But our YouTube channel is full of information anyway. So yeah, we'll keep an eye out for that. I suppose is the first phase of us re-engaging with people in the community. So yeah, keep an eye out.
So that's brilliant, and thank you very much for your time and doing.
My pleasure. Good to see you guys staying safe, and look forward to having a coffee with you and talking about some events, hopefully in 21.
Well, hopefully, fingers crossed very soon. All right, Tom, thank you very much.
Thanks, David. Take care.
Bye.